Hello, hello, hello. I'm Andrea Stevens,
And I'm Jeanette Mejias, and we are Web's Women.
where exposure brings strength. Hello.
Oh my. Hey girl, what's up? We know where that's coming from. So,
Oh, you guys
oh
crack me
goodness
up.
gracious. Here we are.
And
Hello.
this is going to be the episode, baby.
It's good to see you, girl.
Good
Um,
to see you and our guest's face. Even though
yeah,
nobody else can see it, we can.
yes. I'm very, very equally as excited. Bringing back Nastasya Rose, who we refer to as Nas, and
Nas.
she was one of our guests earlier this year. One of the authors of Never Fear Your Fire. We had her here to talk about a little bit about her chapter in the book, fabulous book here. If you have not
Mhm.
gotten this book, Never Fear Your Fire, please do. It is an amazing book filled with 18 amazing, incredible, resilient women, and Nas is one of them, who talk about their story. It is one of truth. It is one of empowerment. I was moved and touched by all of these authors and their stories. So you can get your copy on Amazon. And yes, I have to put that plug in because the book really is fantastic. And Nastasia's um chapter is Separation is the New Diet, chapter 11. So get the book. So anyhow, welcome, Naz. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's so nice to see you ladies again.
You
Uh,
too, you too.
same. You have like this bright energy exuberating in this in through the screen, which that's what I love about you.
And let me tell you, I have to explain something here. Nobody can see this, but we can. But the light that keeps changing the color of your background is like this. Yeah, it's like almost like hippie-ish, right? I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
it's like hippie time here with this. That's how I feel. I like it.
Oh my God.
The funny thing is, this is actually how I work. This is how I prefer to work. So it's just,
Uh-huh.
it changes the whole color spectrum all day. And I'm just in the zone. I love it.
It's cool. I love it.
Yeah. So let me just I want to do a proper introduction. For Nas, I just think that's just a requirement. So Nas is the founder and CEO and master coach of VIVE, and she's going to drop some gems here tonight and talk a little bit about some great things that are happening with VIVE. But she's just amazing. She holds almost 20 certifications, a Bachelor of Science in Addiction Counseling from Grand Canyon University, and currently studying her Master's of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling with emphasis in trauma. And Naz really is it's just a powerful woman with such amazing lived experience and offering so much to her clients. And just doing such amazing work. So I'm just really excited to have you here. So
Yeah. Yeah. Excited. But to remind everybody, tell everyone what VIVE is.
yes.
Yeah. So, we re-listened to the last episode when we were on here, and VIVE does stand for a vision to inspire the best version of energy. And it's a private practice where we help our clients be able to be in their best energy in how they run their vision in personal and professional life while keeping their energy and mental health first. And that's pretty much what we do. Everything that we do helps support them on the business consulting side and the clinical side now, especially with our expansion, to be able to help them just live their lives and be able to stay sane while they do it. We all want to succeed at one point or another in life. So we help our clients to be able to do that while staying sane. And it's been a great journey the past 13 years.
Wow.
Congrats on that, because 13 years is a long time.
Mm.
It is. It is. And you were like, a youngster, younger than me. You're a youngster. So 13 years is a long time as a youngster.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, it is. That is a big accomplishment. It really, really is. So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's get into it. What's new? What's happening? What's going on with VIVE?
So since the book came out, there was a really nice get together that we were able to go to in person. It was absolutely beautiful, and it was just such an honor seeing Jeannette too, and seeing all the ladies, and it was great. Ever since then, it was just a beautiful, event to reminisce on. And shortly after that, I had to get right back to work. And the clinical mergers we had locked in was really the biggest breakthrough. And I was working on this since way before the event. And the event was just something I was able to kind of just step away from and be able to be a powerful part of. So it was definitely an honor to be a part of it, because it reminded me why I'm even working on things like clinical mergers, right? And we'll get to that in a second, what that means. But it was a nice reminder on why I'm doing what I'm doing, because that event, it wasn't just a normal event. It was talking about the real things that you go through in life and how you actually heal from it, how you recover from it, how you become a better person because of it. So it was a really great night. And I'm grateful that I was able to step away from, the hardcore work that I'm doing in order to be a part of that. So, after that, I got right back to work, and I was already working on locking in clinical mergers. And this is basically the way that we can expand VIVE to be able to serve people in addiction counseling and clinical therapy on the trauma side of things legally, because I was supposed to be bringing in clinicians, but that was kind of the plan. Like, oh, I don't have to do that. I could just do the business consulting side. But I was starting to feel limited in what we were doing when it came to business consulting and mental health coaching, because you can only go so deep because of your legal boundaries. But now with these clinical mergers, after realizing we shouldn't just bring in clinicians from anywhere in order to help, like, we should actually be having people who care for these clients run the show. And there's no one who's going to care for them like the one who founded the practice. So, I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to lock in these licensures, and we're going to do the whole full-on clinical therapy route. And it took me 7 months to lock in these opportunities to be able to build my hours for the licensure with the state board in order to be able to serve in clinical therapy as well as in business consulting. So this is a very huge breakthrough for us. Are we terrified and excited at the same time? Yes, of course we are. But we're also really excited about the impact we're about to make.
Wow.
Nice.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Girl, yes.
That's a lot. And
Mm.
that's growth right there,
Mhm.
big growth, big growth. Yeah.
Yeah.
you.
And I think, expanding on a business is never easy. There's a lot of just behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, on the side of the scenes. It's just a lot. It sounds very beautiful. And you're like, when you hear it, you're in awe. But,
Yeah. Behind
I
the scenes, there's
commend you.
contracts, right? There's
I
agreements.
commend you.
There's so much.
Yeah, I commend you, because, that's, that's just a lot to be able to, make things come to life. It just doesn't, you had a vision, and it didn't happen overnight. And the fact that it did, that's just such an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens from here?
So I think I'm just in recovery and gratitude right now, because they put me through so many tests. Like, it was extremely insane. Like, I went through a urine test to make sure that they knew I was clean off of drugs and alcohol. Like, they put me through fingerprinting, they put me through a physical where I had to jump up and down in front of the doctor. Like, it was just an extensive background.
Oh,
They could see
Yeah.
that my education and my employment was real. And that was the most hilarious part, because the employment I needed to verify was being the founder of my own practice. So it's not like they were actually able to talk to someone. Thank God I had strong professional references, because that's pretty much my team. But, you know, it was a lot that they had put me through. So this is my final week where I'm in decent gratitude, while also cleaning up everything in VIVE that should be cleaned up when it comes to scheduling, operations, the whole nine, just to make sure that all of our clients are still taken care of while we're doing this expansion. And now we're just getting ready for the new schedules. You know, I'm up as early as 3 o'clock now so that I could get to clinic by 5. That is not an easy schedule. That's AM. You know, so it's very intense. Now I'm in clinic from 5 to 2, and I locked in not one clinical merger, but 2. So after we're adjusted to that for the first few weeks, then we're, you know, including clinic 2 from 3 to 6 on certain days. So it's like, it's definitely very intensive, but it's because of the licensure I want to get for us faster. I don't want us delayed anymore on the schedule, now that we know what we want to do and how we want to help people. So at the end of all this, we're going to be one of the few licensed private practices in the state of New Jersey who's able to help people, and for partial services except insurance, for both business consulting and clinical therapy in the areas where they struggle the most for our clients. So for addiction and, you know, intense scenarios in life. So it's a lot to prep for in those phases, but it's worth it. You know, it's that exciting, exhausting energy, like all combined into one. But we're going to be able to do so much more than what we've been doing the past 13 years because of it. Yeah.
I think a lot of people too in business, right? You're working 12, 15 hours a day, right? And we mostly, if you have your own business, you work around the clock. You're always on, you know, it's hard to be off when you own your own business. And I think a lot of times people think well, you own your own business, so it's easy, or you can slack whenever you want to slack. But in the end, if you want to succeed, there is no slacking. Right? Like the 12 to 16, 17 hours a day, that's the norm. You know, until there's enough time where you are running it and there's people there that are doing some of these things for you in the long run, or you can start to delegate at some point. You know, but I don't,
like, there's no other licensed clinician, right? So we all know the one who's going to put in the most hours now is me for at least the next 2 to 3 years. But that's why we have a team. That's why we have certified coaches to be able to take over on the consulting
side.
That can be a part of the expansion.
Yeah. And you set it up so that can happen.
The system.
So you can make that happen, which I think a lot of people just think, oh, well, it's your business. So, you know, good for you. Right. And you don't do a lot of the work I'm going to be honest, what you're doing is more difficult than my day job that I'm doing. Hands down. And I don't even know at this age if I could do it.
You can.
I don't know if I could do 12 to 15 hours a day and be on like that. That's a lot it's a lot at 48. Don't forget I'm 48.
Oh, you're still a babe in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's nothing. Like, my dad's going to be 60 and he's I'm totally his daughter. Like, the way that he runs his whole film production company and the way that he manages teams in like different states and countries, I'm definitely his daughter. Like, it makes a lot of sense. And he's going to be 60. He's 59. Yeah.
God bless him. And you know what? 60 is not old, honestly. Like, you know, back in my generation, right? Because I'm 53, I'll be 54 in a couple weeks. And when, when in my generation, somebody was in their 50s, it was like, oh, you're old, you know? But now, nah, like, I think old is more like 80s, you know? Like, I just still think people just still have so much life and, you know, they're just youthful. I just find older people, sometimes I'm amazed that they're in their 60s or, you know, they're in their early 70s. I'm like, what? Like, you look like 15 years younger, or, so people are taking good care of themselves. But Naz, I wanted to ask you a question, and just for clarification for our audience who's like a little bit curious about your offerings. You talk about mental health addictions. Can you be a little bit more specific as to what that means for anybody who is kind of curious? How can I connect with her? That sounds really interesting, but I'm not sure if I fall under mental health
Yeah. Like
addiction.
who's your
Like,
ideal
what does
client?
it look like?
Yeah.
Mental
Yeah.
health is broad, but sometimes people, when they hear addiction, people think,
Mhm.
oh, well, I can't connect with her because I'm not an addict. So,
Uh,
but sometimes we need to define what is that.
I love that. Yeah, because it's funny. People would consider us as business coaching with a twist, honestly, because we help people consistently thrive in what they want to do in business, what they want to do with their professional career, but while keeping their energy and mental health first. And that's why it just felt so important for us to be able to expand with addiction and clinical therapy within our service base, because every time I'm ever working with a client, anytime that I'm ever trying to help a client be able to see what they really need work on, there's always something deeper that they need to visit. And I can't legally dig deep enough if I only have mental health coaching as base. Now, let's say that someone isn't just addicted to drugs or alcohol, right? Maybe they're addicted to work, where they can't actually be able to step away from work and actually enjoy life. That's another form of an addiction, right? So we're able to really help them know how to form the balance within project management, time management, be able to efficiently see where they are, how they're excelling in business, and when they can actually step away to be with loved ones, be with families, be with their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their husband, their wife, like someone they actually love. Maybe it's just their sister, if they're single. Like it's very different what addiction can be for someone. And the ability to help someone at that clinical level and helping someone beat it within their psyche, that's a very powerful thing. You can pretty much guarantee success business wise forever. So the fact that we're expanding in VIVE now to where we can go that deep with a client legally, because now we're doing all the license work that we need to do in order to serve in that level for celebrities and entrepreneurs, it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Do you find that people come to you for business, for help with their business, and then all of a sudden you're pulling out these triggers that are stopping them from succeeding?
Absolutely.
Is that how this? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how that started.
That's why we have to serve them both, because they'll come to us and say, I just need to be able to keep it together, while I'm running. And it's funny because we help people make more money, but yet people will remember us for things like mental health, right? When there's something traumatic going on, it's like, oh, but I thought of VIVE. That's what I freaking want because I want them to be able to dig deep within their life and be like, man, I actually can't move forward in business because of, my passing that I just can't heal over, or my breakup that's just gotten me into the worst forms of addiction or the worst forms of depression that I can't rise out of. I know that I have to go to VIVE because VIVE is going to help me actually break through that so that I can keep moving forward in business and I don't feel like a fraud in my work, or I don't feel like I'm being completely held back because of what I'm facing mentally and, how it's preventing me from succeeding in business. So, the ability to be able to mix both business and clinical work with a client, that's everything. That's just,
And yeah,
amazing.
I bet, and you know what too? I bet sometimes you have people come for help with business, and then they don't even realize that there's something holding them back.
yeah,
Right?
it always comes in because of business. It's usually like the majority of the clients that we have, we range anywhere from 100 to 200 clients annually that we're able to keep at an active base. And now we're scaling it to where we can handle just slightly over 100 clients. That's what we've been able to scale it to over the past year. So, with that, now it's, the majority of them are coming to us because they want to make money, but they know there's something else that is holding them back. And at the beginning, they're thinking that that's oh, well, maybe my offer suite isn't clean enough, or, you know, maybe my business systems, they're not that great. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, that really is the problem. But there's also something else deeper than that. In addition to that, that's helping them to lose their belief in themselves, or lose their confidence in themselves, or feel like they're a complete fraud in what they're trying to ignite. And that's the clinical part. That's where we are able to dig deeper in the shadow work, or anything deeper that we're visiting with, you know, their more darker sides of their issues. So, you know, it always starts within business, the majority of the clients, and then they'll realize it's something deeper, but they won't leave because they know that we cover that other end too, and they've already built a relationship with us. So it's like, you know what, we might as well visit that as well, because now you're working on getting great in that, and we know that you're experienced and working through trauma. So we get to serve in both, which is really a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I think this is fantastic. I'm going to tell you
Mhm.
why. This is brilliant. And I love the fact that you're the only one that is fully resourced to do this. Because what you find, most people, gonna have challenges, period.
Or
In whatever
fears.
they're
Yeah.
doing, and
Mhm.
whatever they're doing with work, period. It's just,
Mhm.
you're not having challenges with your work life, then you're lying to yourself, right? So what do most people do? They're either picking up all kinds of self-help books. They're either, run into some kind of seminar that's offered virtually, and there's no knock on that, because I think that's fantastic that people are searching. How can I get these tools? Whether you're linking to, for example, somebody like Tony Robbins, he's very well known, people have a hunger to better themselves. But what I find why this is just absolutely brilliant is that it's all packaged into one, and including clinical, and including all of those layers. You're getting that whole full package.
Mhm.
That to me is like,
Yeah.
and
It's one stop shop, baby.
one-stop shop, that's right. And that personal attention, not
Yeah.
you trying to figure it out through a book or workbook on your own, because there's nobody there that's going to say,
Yeah.
hey, what did you think about this piece?
Yeah.
My heart is bursting. I think this is just absolutely fabulous. You just make my heart just burst, Nas, and I just couldn't be more happy for you and the work that you do in this space. So thank you.
Yeah. And you know what too? I think with you, but I think immediately of all these people that start a business and they can't get through those first 3 years,
And I quit.
and that's right. And they quit, and that's the hump. And I feel like sometimes the fear sets in, or all those negative thoughts come in, right? And starting with you even from the beginning of someone starting their business, right? To start and to see the growth, and to stay in your one-stop shop and make sure that they go, they start and they continue. Even if they started within the first year and they're like, shit, like, what if I fail? The what if alone, that can get you over to the next 5 years. I feel like. And I keep thinking about all the businesses that start and they're so great and then stop. And I've started my own and stopped numerous times, which is where this comes from. I mean, in multiple states that I've lived in, I've started businesses and then I'm like, I'm not doing this, and a lot of it is because I didn't have that. There was, yes, could I go talk to someone? Yeah, I could go talk to someone over here, but I really had to, if I was going to talk to a business coach here, right? And then therapy here. And then it's not in one spot. It's all over the place. The two people aren't connecting, right? They're not connecting. They know me at different levels. They don't know me on both levels. And it's important to know someone on all levels. If you are going to help someone in business, you have to know them on all levels. So this is like, yeah, it's big. It's big. It's big for starters. It's big for people that have been in business forever and just, they're not confident anymore. They're not, moving forward, whatever it is. But I think you can help from all levels, from you know, 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Well, you know why that happens, right? Because you have to be convinced that it's actually literally what you were created for. And that's the only reason why we are where we are now, because for other people, they'll quit in 3 years. And if that was the case, we would have been quit because we're about to hit year 13. Right. So, you know, this wasn't an overnight success. This was 13 years of hard freaking work, you know? So it's like,
Yes.
and that true work of just getting clear in what we're actually meant to do so that we know what lane we're staying in. Like, that's just really what it is. If you don't know what lane you're in, then you can't possibly be able to thrive well enough, because there's no way that you can stay in your lane. You know, there's no way that you can stay in what you're meant to exist for. Like, you have, so that your energy can be preserved well enough in order to live that purpose to succeed in full. Like, you have to actually know that whatever you're doing, that's exactly what you were created to do. Like, VIVE is part of what I was created to do. Music is another part of what I was created to do. Studies is part of it, you know, because of